Hi, welcome to another episode of Port Charles Chat. I'm Mom.
And I'm Brandon.
Thank you so much for joining with us today.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yes, we hope all of you guys have enjoyed our last episodes of General Hospital or Port Charles Chat that has aired like within the last couple days. But we can happily say we have finally caught up, and we are now to the present time of actually airing everything. Everything was actually taped when we said it was taped. But anyway, so thank you for joining us. As is the taping today, it is on September 20th, and we're talking about the week of September 15th through September 19th. Brandon, are you ready?
I'm ready for us to get into number 64.
Oh, that is wonderful. All righty. And so, once more, Britt is back. She has come back to Port Charles. When we last saw her last week, she was having a moment with her mother. This moment continues, and not exactly a pleasant moment with her mother. Liesel is very, very upset with Britta. She doesn't like the way that she did not let her know that she was alive. Liesel did mourn for her daughter, and Liesel is not happy. She's happy to see her. She's happy she's alive. She is not happy with Britt. And so they have a fight. Nina is also there, also, but they have a fight, and Britt storms out. When Britt storms out, she ends up going to the pier where she meets Jason. She actually runs into Jason there, and so they talk for a little bit. And Britt kind of realizes she doesn't have any friends in town, and so Jason takes a little pity on her and says that he will help her find some place to stay. Well, that place ends up, we find out the next day later, ends up being at Bobby's. And so Britt is now moved into Jason's old apartment at Bobby's. Brandon, your thoughts about Britt coming back to town?
Well, continuing where we left off last time, I mean, I just thought it was hilarious, from the beginning when Britt had just, walked in, and of course, Liesel had fainted. Britt is indeed still alive. They just have to lose wishes and, don't deal with that. But yeah, there's definitely a slap in there to Britt. And now Britt is out in the open and living over Bobby's. And Britt, to her chagrin, is under the control of Carly since that's her new landlord.
Yes, she is. Yes, so they did. I will say they were amusing to watch. Understand, Liesel, but Britt, that was just fun to watch. Let's see. On the other hand, just to kind of remain with Nina for just a minute, Willow goes to see Nina this week. Willow is not happy with her mother because she has found out that her mother is actually paying for Rick to be her lawyer. And so she is just not happy that her mom is doing this for her. And so Willow thinks that just remaining with Drew is the best way for her to go, and they have a fight also. So poor Nina's either been in the middle of a fight or she's been the recipient of a fight with someone. All right. And so, and then on another note, Carly believes that Michael may have actually had something to do with Drew's shooting. She doesn't quite say that he was the one who did it, but she does think that he has something to do with the shooting itself. Let's see. Danny actually visits Drew in the hospital and asks if he could see Scout. Danny just say he's aware that everyone has a restraining order, but at this point, Jason has not had a chance to receive the restraining order for Danny, and so Danny does not have one against him, and so he's asking permission of Drew to see Scout and see if he could take Scout to the Quartermaines. Drew declines. Drew does say that he knows that Danny's not a bad person, but he does not want Scout anywhere near the Quartermaines at this time. All right. And then on another note with Britt goes back to General Hospital and she gets a job. Um, so Terry and Portia do decide to rehire her back, but not as an OBGYN, which is her profession. She actually will be working in the ER. I think they said it's an intake doctor or something like that. So apparently, whatever position this is something low on the totem pole for doctors. But they did remind her that she needs to get her doctor's license back. All right. And so I think that's it for Brit for the week. Anything else to add for that, Brandon?
She's not even a intake doctor. I think she's just an intake either a technician or supervisor.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think it was the supervisor. Yes. So yes.
Well, way down from co-chief of staff.
Yep. It is a low way down from that. Yes. All right. And then let's go to Rocco and Charlotte. Rocco and Charlotte have lost Outback, and so everyone's looking for them, meaning that Rocco, Charlotte, and Gio and Emma, they're the ones who really want to find the dog. And so they kind of go everywhere looking for the dog. Gio even goes to Sunny to try to get some sort of ransom money, per se, for the dog. It's not ransom money, but anyway, so tries to get some money for the dog.
A reward.
So, reward. I'm sorry, y'all is late. So a reward money for the dog. So, and Sonny does give the money to, well, fictitiously, I guess, gives the money to Gio. Oh, anyway, so Cody ends up finding the dog accidentally, and so between Molly and Cody, and and then Gio kind of ends up going and happens to meet Cody to speak with him. They do find the dog, and they realize that Cody does have the dog. So anyway, Rocco. Not Rocco, but Gio and Emma have a nice little bonding moment when they're reunited with the dog. All right. So kind of makes you wonder, what do they have planned for this dog? Because there's a lot of storyline going around about this dog. So anyway, it's been a while since we've had an animal storyline on General Hospital. And then on a sad note, they did finally write in Leslie Charleston's death onto General Hospital. And so Monica has passed away, and Jason is the one to actually find her. Jason and Tracy do share several scenes together, and they have a moment trying to digest the news. Tracy is the one to tell Ned and Brooklyn about Monica, and Jason is the one to tell Michael. Um, Danny later comes to Jason, and they have a special moment together. Apparently, right before Monica passed away, she had spent some time with Wiley and Scout that morning, and it was before school, and they had a chance to see her. Um, and then and then the hospital is slowly beginning to find out. So basically, two characters know right now, well, three characters know at the hospital itself about Monica's passing, and that would be Elizabeth and Lucas. And then Elizabeth decides to tell Drew about Monica also. And then on another complete note, we have Marco and Sidwell. They actually talk about the judge, and Sidwell sort of threatens his son, as Sidwell does. And so he kind of threatens him not to kind of go against his thoughts or words again. And so that is, I think, General Hospital in a nutshell this week. It was basically two things. It was either all about, well, three things: all about Britt, all about Outback, or all about Monica and her family. All right, Brandon, what do you want to add anything on, or did I miss anything?
Well, we'll point out in terms of people that know about Monica is Elizabeth does go to tell Jake, and Danny accidentally overhears.
Yes, Danny does accidentally overhears the news. Yes. All right, anything else?
I think that's overall the gist of everything.
All righty. So now we're going to move to our performers of the week. I ended up having four this week. The first one for me, beyond a shadow of doubt, was Jason. I thought Jason's reaction was probably out of the group the most convincing, and so I like the way Jason kind of acted. We have the dichotomy between his two different acting styles, because we did have earlier in the week when he's having some fun with Britt, and then we have once Monica passes. So we have two different styles of acting with Jason this week. And then we have Tracy that kind of goes along with it. And then I put Liesel and Britt on here because Liesel actually did a wonderful job. So Liesel, I will give credit to, and Britt, because Britt is just Britt. So I think the four of them did a great job this week. All right, Brand, what about you?
All right, well, we definitely think alike. So I wanted to split up this week into almost two different parts. The first 2.5 days or so of the week were focused on Brit's return, and and the last 2.5 days were on the passing of Monica. And so for the first part, I wanted to say Britt and Liesel, and for the second part, I wanted to say Jason and Tracy.
All right. We do think alike, Brandon. All right. And then as for my amusing moments for the week, I had, and it involves Britt for both of them. It has to be Britt and Carly and Jason at Bobby's because I got a kick out of watching them there. And then I also got a kick out of Britt and Portia and Terry because Britt was basically asking for her job back, and just watching them kind of banter along was just kind of funny to watch. So those are my two big amusing moments of the week. How about you?
I was actually going to pick the same ones.
Oh wow, wow. All right. So then let's go for our touching scenes, and I think we might match here. So touching scenes of the week. I will have to say, Jason and Tracy together, they did a wonderful job this week working together. And then Ned and Tracy had a very nice conversation, along with Jason and Michael had a nice conversation. Jason and Danny, they didn't say anything. It was the way they were just together and the way Danny came to his dad. And then we had Gio and Emma also. They had a nice conversation and connection this week also. So those are my, believe it or not, five touching scenes. And normally I just have one or two. So there were at least five touching scenes this week. What about you, Bran?
Okay, I'm going to not repeat what you said, I'm going to add one more to that.
Alrighty.
And that would be Elizabeth calling up Jake.
Yes, Elizabeth did have a nice conversation with Jake. And so, yes, I wish they would have brought back Jake. They really could have not to say they could have replaced Jake, but it could have been a child they brought back, another actor for Jake, because Jake has not been on there for so long that, you know, I think it would have been nice to see the expression on Jake's face also, since he's been missing for a while. But yes, the one sided conversation that we did here was very touching.
Yeah, and I would add to that because it did seem like Elizabeth True just sort of called in a moment not that long after she found out. Is to me, I think it is appropriate in the sense that although I do think and hope that we do see like Jake within the next week or so, or at least some sort of idea, knowing that he is or was there in some capacity or another, or at least acknowledgement. I do think for the initial telling, it was appropriate to be on the phone just because we know he's not in the area.
Yeah, very true. Very true. All right. And then as for fast forward scenes this week, I did not have any fast forward scenes this week. Did you?
No, I didn't.
All right. But we had some missing scenes, or at least maybe I drifted off during these scenes. Okay, you have to help me out here. But there was a car accident this week, and I don't remember it happened on Friday. And we know that it's Nathan, or we assume it's Nathan, or whatever persona Nathan is taking. But anyway, I missed the whole scene. And so turning it in on Friday and all of a sudden seeing this car accident was to me kind of jarring. And so I apologize if I fell asleep on Thursday evening, but somehow I don't think I did. Brandon, do you remember a car accident on Thursday afternoon's episode?
No, and I also thought that was quite jarring. Now we do know Lulu was on her way to Bobby's, but I don't remember anything about accident. And I thought what was more jarring is this not like a few months ago when they showed Natalia and she'd just gotten into accidents. Apparently Lulu had no involvement. She just happened to come across this accident already in progress, and the paramedics seem to be taking their time and escorting who may or may not be Nathan out, and then we don't actually see that happening. We're just like, oh, he's on his way to the hospital. It's like, when did that happen?
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, so I just thought that was kind of jarring. And then the other thing that I thought was kind of interesting was when we did see Danny hear about Monica, but we don't know how Danny found Jason. I think it'd have been nice if there had been some sort of a thought, or at least if Danny had run to the Quartermains first, so we could see him interacting there, and then asking where his dad is, and maybe Michael could have led him back to, meaning at least if someone had told Danny where to find Jason. or maybe they're such in sync that they were able just to find each other. But I have not seen Jason in that particular house in a long time, so I would not think that he would go there to look for his dad. But anyway, Danny finding Jason, to me, that I thought that was interesting. They just kind of left out a whole section there. All right, Brandon, were there any other missing scenes this week that you noticed?
No, I mean, I thought that part was, I think, appropriate. I mean, that seemed like something that Danny and Jason would, would be. But I feel that seeing Drew on Friday's episode, I don't know, it seemed a bit off.
Yeah, and I know they take things out of order, so I don't know. And then the other thing, I'm sorry, that I found kind of odd was with the dog. Um, Maybe I fast forwarded this scene, but I mean, I did see that Gio, of course, that Gio and Cody together with the dog together, and I saw Gio holding the dog. I wanted to see Cody giving Gio the dog, and they didn't show that. At least I don't think they showed it, and so I really would have liked to see that too.
Yeah,
Did
they
I
didn't
miss that
show it.
scene, Brandon?
No, they didn't
Okay.
show it.
Alrighty. So yeah, so I would have liked to have seen that. I mean, we went through all this effort with the dog. At least we could have done is see the dog being given to Geo rather than just Geo holding the dog. All right. So that's with me for missing scenes of the week. You'll have to let us know below what if there were any other missing scenes that we just didn't pick up on. And then I want to go to Brandon, what we kind of talked about last week, and that was the guessing of who shot Drew. And so I know we did a whole thing last week in regards to who we think it will be. And so let's reevaluate again now that we've have just a little bit more evidence or information of who you think it is. And so for me, I'm still saying Danny right now. For him coming back and then him seeing Drew. I don't know. I'm thinking about Danny. And then I keep going back to Stella. And I also go back to Portia. Um, Portia to me was the first person I thought about as the person who shot Drew. So I'm still going to keep her on my list for right now. So I, at right now, is Danny, Stella, Portia. What about you, Bran?
I mean, I could very easily see that, and I definitely still think it's Danny, especially in the way that Danny. I mean, he did a great job, the actor, keeping the composure, this and that. But towards the end of the conversation, when he was losing his patience, to me felt like a father son moment of a dear old Uncle Drew, I need to take you out for the greater good. Um, so I, I could very easily see that, especially since he has been gone for a conveniently long time.
Yeah, same here. All right, so we'll have to see what that is, and my thoughts could change for next week. Well, let's see. All righty, welcome back, Moments Brand. We're going to welcome back Terry, who's been missing for quite a while now. So, welcome back, Terry. Welcome back, maybe Nathan or Nathan wannabe, I don't know. But welcome back to the actor who plays Nathan. And then we're going to welcome back Danny, too, who has been missing. All right, Brandon, any more welcome backs that we need to do?
And we're going to welcome back Ned.
Oh, yes, Ned. Ned, who's been missing. Welcome back, Ned. All righty. Now I have my where are they? Okay, I'm going to add TJ in here because he's been missing for a long time now. So almost 9 months. So where are you, TJ? And then where is Rick? I don't think Alexis was on this week. I don't think. Lois is still missing. Spinelli's missing. Olivia's always missing. Where are they? So just questions to ask. Did I miss anyone there?
I don't think so. I mean, and the person I was going to mention for mine was also going to be TJ. And I'm curious as to which I'm sure we'll get into in a moment. I wonder if they will be bringing him back soon.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. But I wish they would bring them back. But anyway, so these people are missing. And then we will have to say goodbye to Monica. I think that next week is her funeral. If I read correctly online, I think they said Thursday or Friday are the days. But anyway, so we'll have to say goodbye to Monica in the week or so. I do hope that they use a lot of flashbacks. They did some, but I really would like to see a lot of flashbacks. And I'd like to, and I'm hoping that they're able to bring some people back who've been not just missing, but people who were instrumental in her life. And so, so hopefully they will bring them back for the funeral. All right. So next week, what I'm looking forward to, um, like I said, looking forward to seeing how they work with Monica, and then of course the Drew storyline and how that's going. Britt, because she's just interesting, and then we need to see and then we'll have to see the mysterious Nathan. I will say at the end, what I did get kick about on Friday was that with Nathan that 3 or 4 people came around when Nathan was brought in, or the mysterious guy who looks like Nathan anyway. Then when he was brought into the ER, and it was Anna, Dante, I believe it was Anna, Dante, and Chase, all of them which would have known Nathan, and Elizabeth, and they all stare it down like this can't possibly be this. And what's so interesting, this is all stemming, of course, around Liesel and her children, which is, Britta and Nathan are her children. And so, who were all presumed dead. So they're all kind of coming back. So we'll have to see where all this is leading. Like I said, we don't know if this is Nathan or not. So that's why I say the mysterious Nathan. All right, Brandon. Anything? What are you looking forward to for next week, or is there anything different that you're looking forward to for next week?
Well, I mean, even to address on the Nathan thing, they did some foreshadowing back on Monday's episode where Liesel said, "Now I have 2 dead children," in the way that she recognized it, because she does not recognize that this Brit is her Brit. But I definitely saw the foreshadowing with that. I don't actually know why Anna and Chase and potentially Dante were walking the into the hospital. It seemed like they were here to question Drew, but the timing of it seemed quite odd and just purely coincidence. Coincidentally, happened to run into the may or may not Nathan. I thought that's interesting.
Yes, yes, it is interesting, but I'm looking forward to watching next week. All right, and we thank everybody for watching today.
And we look forward to seeing you next time. But Mom, before we finish,
Yes, yes, sir.
I actually did want to ask: do you have any predictions as to who may or may not come back for the funeral?
Well, you asked something very interesting the other day. Of course, off camera. You with Bobby passing away, that brought back BJ. And you asked me if there was anyone significant in Monica's life who they could possibly bring back that way. And I immediately told you Emily. That was her daughter, her adopted daughter, and then AJ. And so those are the two for me that I wonder if they're going to do something similar, if they would bring back those two characters. Um, that would be interesting to see if they did that. Um, let's see. Um, as for others, I kind of hope that Robin's able to come. I don't know if that will happen or not, but to me, she would be one who would come back. Um, and then Monica, of course, did not have any relatives that we know of. So those would be the only ones that I could think of. Monica actually did have a daughter that they brought in at some point in time. But she also passed away on the show too. And not Emily, that she had another daughter. I think her name was Dawn. I don't know if they bring, like I said, her 3 children back. But other than that, that's all I could think of besides Robin. I don't know who else off camera they would bring back for her funeral.
Yeah, I mean for myself, as someone that's only been really watching for about a year and a half, I mean, I could easily, and I'd hope, see some of the people that just most recently left the canvas come back, like Lois, who lived in the house with them, and of
Hmm.
course, people like, Olivia, and I know, of course, Ned's gonna be there, and some other people. But I'd also like to see some of the more legacy characters, even if there's just a cameo or a picture of them, or they're included in the flashbacks. I know they have to secure the rights for all that stuff. That I would like to see some of that included, since I mean she was, to the best of my knowledge, the longest serving character to still be on the show.
Yes, yeah. Well, and hopefully they will. And so we'll have to see. We'll have to talk about next week to see if they were able to bring back maybe a legacy character or two, in order to take part, or at least maybe show her in the scene with some of the, even with some of her own family on the show, even though they've passed away in real life. If they could bring back, if they could show her in scenes with Alan, or characters I know you don't really know, but her husband Alan, and then her parents, Lila and Edward. It'd be great if they could show them the flashbacks. Those aren't her parents. I'm sorry. Those are her in-laws. If they could show the flashbacks also.
Yeah, I definitely hope they're able to do. And I noticed a special something that they did is that usually behind Tracy they have pictures of Edward and Lila, but this week it was a picture of Monica.
Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed there was a difference there. So yeah. So we'll see next week. We'll be able to talk about it then.
Yeah, I look forward to
All
it.
right. Yeah, same here. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.
Have a wonderful day.
All right, bye, everybody.